to this episode if your videos are going out to the wrong people or you have grown an audience full of unaligned customers. Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Small Business Growth Podcast. I'm your host, Madison Page, and today is a podcast episode all about this idea of growing an audience of unaligned customers. I know that this can be a really scary idea because you're like, Maddie, I've been waiting for my big break, but why now am I growing an audience outside of the people that I'm actually trying to grow? Today is actually a Friday coaching sessions episode, which means this is an episode or a question that was submitted by somebody in the audience. This was submitted by Haley. Her context was what to do when the wrong reel goes viral. For example, my brand gained 20,000 followers over 2 weeks. Instead of my following being engaged customers in the US, we now have 80% of our following outside of the United States, and they are all business owners wanting to ask questions about our boutique trailer. We only ship within the US, so we have 80% of our following be international is an issue. We are grateful for the exposure, but 20,000 of our followers are not our ideal customers. This is a really tough one, and I have a couple of ideas here. First things first is we have to make sure that your content that you're posting is actually talking about, this is a boutique, I think she said. Our boutique trailer. So she has a trailer, I'm assuming that is a boutique on the inside, and it attracted a bunch of people that were other business owners or were not inside of the actual area that she actually ships. So it was not aligned customers. So first things first is our major goal is always to, of course, grow a community full of ride or die people. I would rather have you have 5,000 followers of raging ride or die, we ride at dawn kind of followers than having 50,000 followers that are out of your actual audience. Some of the major things here is we have to make sure your content is actually speaking to your ideal customer and not other business owners. This is a mistake that I see really, really often is people making content for people that do what they do. So if they're saying, here's a small business owners, we have to support each other, follow me to support and comment below and we'll also support you. You are then telling the algorithm that you want your content to be pushed out to small business owners. That's something I could post. That's not something that you as a boutique owner, a jewelry owner, any of that would want to post. You wouldn't want to post like a day in the life of a small business owner. It's just not something, you don't want to speak to other small business owners. You don't want to speak to other people creating what you're creating. You don't want to speak to other people that are doing what you're doing. Instead, as a boutique owner, and this, I don't know what video this was. I don't know what video actually went viral, but if your boutique trailer video was, here's a tour of my boutique trailer as a small business owner, using just the word small business owner is telling the algorithm to push it out to other people that are interested in small business owners. And so you would be better off using terminology and using messaging to speak to your audience that says, tour our boutique trailer that has whatever, that has the trendiest clothes, with trendy current clothes or whatever, with our hand-dyed clothing or anything like that, that is using the terminology of what it is you're actually selling. So at the core of this problem, we need to make sure that we have strategy that's actually uncovering it. We need to make sure that we have strategy understanding why it's going to the wrong audience. A lot of times it's keywords, a lot of times it's what your content is actually about. And if some of your content is about being a small business owner and some of your content is about being what it is you're actually selling, people can get a little confused. It's not even people, like the algorithm can get confused and they won't know who to show it to. And of course, sometimes the algorithm is just a random chance and maybe people in a different country really loved your video and they are saying and Instagram kept pushing it out to those people. And so sometimes we can't always control this happening to us. So while it's happening, if you start to see, okay, I have a video that's performing really well, it's getting a lot of views, it's getting a lot of followers, and you start to click in those followers, and it's a lot of people that already do what you do, it's a lot of people over in a different country that you can't actually sell to, and it's just going to the wrong side of the internet, you can archive it, honestly, and I would. I have plenty of customers that come to me, clients that come to me, they grew this massive audience of 100,000 followers, but it was all the wrong people. The wrong videos went viral. Maybe they kept on posting those videos because they just wanted the followers, but then they realized the followers weren't the right people. And you would be better off archiving that post than actually just letting it sit there. And this is something that would be controversial. And I think a lot of people, other people that do kind of what I do and teach on these same strategies, I think you would get some different answers here. I've heard plenty of people say, you know, your followers don't really matter. The number, it makes a difference at the end of the day, but you don't. I have tested this. I've tested it with clients. You don't want these followers. These 20,000 followers that you now have probably tanked your engagement. They aren't actually people that can engage with you, and it's teaching Instagram that people like them, like your content, and they're going to push your content out to more people like them. And so it's just kind of putting this on this snowball. So while it's happening, if you can catch it early, I would archive it, and I wouldn't actually let the video go. Now, I know that's kind of painful because, of course, of the 20,000 that you gained, 10,000 could be aligned, or I guess not even 10,000. If 10,000 of them are aligned, if it's 50-50, I'd keep it. If it's, 80-20, leaning on the side of not a lot of aligned customers, I would archive it. You don't want, if you're getting some real customers from it, it's one thing. If it feels like zero, then that's another thing. Once it's happened, so this isn't helpful because you've already gained these followers. Once this has happened, I think you have two options. You can either try to build engagement on the current community that you have. It's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle, but once this happens to you, you can test your audience, test to see if it feels like it tanked your engagement, really tanked your growth, and kind of put your profile going out to the wrong people now. If it did, I hate to say it, I would start another profile. And I would do a major email marketing kind of push prior to. I would do a major kind of social push before completely switching over. I would say, hey, if you're in the US, like, do this. I would move over to a new profile. And I hate to say that. I would have to look at your Instagram to tell you, Haley, specifically, if I think that's a good idea for you. But my clients that come to me that have these large audiences that either do what they do or just liked to watch the video because they're satisfying. I have a lot of soap makers. I have a lot of polymer clay makers, artists that people just follow because they thought their videos were satisfying, but they didn't actually have an interest in buying them from them. And let's say they had 100,000 followers and now they sell something to totally different people. I actually had them branch into other areas, and this was just kind of their personal brand. You can use that as like, I'm the business owner, this is kind of my personal brand, and then shift people that actually want to buy over into this other profile. That is really what I would do. Now, like I said, Haley, I would have to look at your profile and really be able to kind of dive in to see what strategy I would recommend you use. It really depends if you feel like your profile is too far gone at this point, if you feel like your engagement has tanked since then, if you feel like you're just like perpetually gaining followers of the wrong audience. If the answer to that is yes, then I would look at starting a new profile. But 20,000 followers in the grand scheme isn't too many to come back from, that I actually think we could probably revive it if we make a switch in your content, in your messaging. I have this happen with a lot of clients. They come to me, they have 25,000 followers or they have 50,000 followers and they're like, yeah, I don't know what happened. They're not overly aligned. We need to look at their content. We need to do a major nurture sequence and we need to shift the messaging, and we can still kind of recover it. At the point of us getting to 100,000 followers and beyond, it can get a little bit too far that it's hard to come back from it. So 20,000, I don't think it means that you absolutely have to make a new account at this point. I would have to look at your profile, look at your content, look at the video that went viral, look at your followers and kind of see from there. But if 80% of your following are people that cannot even buy from you, it's a tough one. We just want to make sure that the people that can buy from you are the ones that are engaged, because at the end of the day, only 30% of your followers, you see your content on like a consistent cycle. And so maybe the 30% can be heavier on the side of the US if you switch your messaging and kind of morph your content into speaking to those people. So Haley, this is kind of a roundabout answer of saying I need to be able to see your account. If you feel like it's too far gone, you feel like you're now stunted your growth, maybe start a new profile and really just funnel the right people over to that new profile. If you feel like it's your content and you kind of were probably speaking to the wrong people, we can still probably save it. You need to really shape your messaging. If you have a solid content strategy, then we can probably kind of move your messaging into making it happen for you. If you want to send me a DM, Haley, if you're listening, we can chat about this. I would love to have a conversation with you about it at This Is Madison page, and we can do it. We can answer that there as well. If you have a question you would like me to answer, you can click the link in the show notes and submit your question with just a little bit of context so I can answer it just like this. If you are like, Maddie, I always have this question. If we were sitting across from each other at a coffee shop and we were just chit-chatting, what question would you ask me? Submit that. The link is in the show notes. Would love to answer your question live on the next episode. If you have any questions for me, let me know. I'm here for you. Come hang out with me on Instagram at This Is Madison page. If you have a friend that you feel like this episode would be super helpful for you, for her, for them, make sure that you send this episode over to them and you can share the love. If you love the podcast, give it a share as well. It helps me so much get out to more people. Put it in the Facebook group, put it in the group chat, whatever that is. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll chat with you very soon. Click the link in the show notes to submit your question. And Haley, I hope this was really helpful for you. I love you. I'm rooting for you and I'm in your corner always. I will chat with you in the next episode.